that I received the highest honors from the Phoenix Police Department in the community of Phoenix, Arizona, became the most highly decorated officer. But I was about to win another award that was being prepared for just me. That night in Sun City, Arizona, I was talking to about 35 people. They were retirees, wonderful people that were trying to protect their community there in their retirement center in Phoenix, Arizona, or actually Sun City, Arizona. Wonderful group. I was giving a talk on crime prevention in this police uniform. They had heard about my success in Phoenix. I created some crime prevention programs. We had set up over 100 block watches at the time. Block watches were just starting in police work, and they had been working very well, and I had been called out to Sun City to talk to a group of senior citizens about how they could protect themselves in their neighborhoods. I was addressing this group, and in the back of the room, I saw a little man, a little frail old gentleman, sleeping. Well, he was just really taking it easy. He looked like he was about 85, 90 years of age, and I thought, doggone it, I don't see any problem with that. Sometimes when I speak, I almost fall asleep. You know? So he was sleeping away, and I finished about an hour program, and I said, are there any questions? And guess what? His little bony arm was the first one to go up. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, well, he's been asleep the whole time. What could it possibly have as a question? I figured maybe he had to be excused to go to the restroom. He's waving his hand. So I said, yes, sir, do you have a question? And the first word out of his mouth kind of hit me right in the face. He said, now I'm here in police uniform. I'm looking bad. I'm authoritarian. I'm looking like somebody important. And he says to me, Sonny? Sonny. He called me Sonny. And I said, yes, sir. What's your question? And he said, Sonny, do you take an oath? Ooh, I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know. I said, well, of course I take an oath. Every police officer takes an oath. And he said, Sonny, can you tell me what was in that oath? And I thought, this is strange questions. Never been asked these things before. And I said, well, let me think. Now, I took it when I was in the military, and my police oath was very much the same. It said something about, I swear to protect the Constitution of the United States, defend it from all enemies, foreign and domestic. I swear to protect the rights and the liberties of the people, their person and their property. Something like that. And he said, Sonny? I said, yes, sir. He says, one more question. And I said, yes, sir. What's the question? I thought, now he's getting down to business. What's your question? And he says, do you know the law? And I said, I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with this? Am I missing something here? I said, sir, I just talked about the law for an hour. I said, now see, I knew he's sleeping. I said, I think I know the law. No one knows all the law because it's changing all the time. I said, but ask your question. What's your question? He says, so you know the law? And I said, yeah, sir. Give me your question. What do you want to know? And he says, what's the Sixth Amendment to the Bill of Rights? Ooh. I thought for a minute. I had no idea. I had no idea why he was asking such a stupid question. And he says, I said, sir, I don't know. He says, what's the Eighth Amendment to the Bill of Rights? And I'm an Irishman, you see, and when I start getting embarrassed, my face gets red, I mean really red, and I start sweating. And I started feeling this flush coming over my face. I had these people eating out of the palm of my hand. I mean, it had gone good for an hour, see? And who is this guy? But sir, I don't know what the Eighth Amendment to whatever you said. I don't know what you're talking about. He says, what's the 10th Amendment to the Bill of Rights? What's the 4th Amendment to the Bill of Rights? What's the 5th Amendment to the Bill of Rights? Now, I knew that I had the 4th and 5th Amendment in the police academy, but I couldn't think of what they were. I was too embarrassed. I was too rattled. And I said, sir, stop. I said, I don't have the answers to your questions. I said, ask me something about what I was talking about tonight. What is with this guy? And then he gave me the coup de grace. He was waiting for this. This was where he was going the whole time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. He said to me, "Sonny, how can you protect my rights and my liberties and the Constitution if you don't even know what they are?" How would you have felt? How would you have felt? I was destroyed. This man, this evil, evil entity that Satan must have sent into that meeting. Surely it was the devil sent this man into that meeting. I am somebody. I'm Officer Jack McLamb. I'm officer friendly across the nation. I am a neat guy. I didn't deserve this, Lord. I said, "Lord, I'm not a bad guy. Why did you send this guy in here, Lord?" You know, I just knew that the devil had something to do with that. And so I said, "Sir, I have no idea. Is there any other question?" All I could say is there any other questions? And the place was totally silent.